All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip. And today I'm here to talk to you about how to create a successful real estate YouTube channel here in 2025. And by this, I mean as a real estate agent looking to acquire more buyers and more seller business from your YouTube channel, from your organic YouTube channel. I mean, you create a YouTube channel, you're creating content on that, what it takes here in 2025, as you guys are all aware, all of the platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, or X, they are always evolving. They're always changing. Algorithms are always changing. What they want is always changing. So it's really important that we understand what those changes are and what we need to do to continue to create success over time. So whether you've been maybe at this for a while, and maybe your channels just went stagnant, or maybe you're looking at jumping into YouTube as a new lead source for your real estate business. And I'll get into why YouTube and some things there in a minute. But I'm going to be breaking down for you the 8 most important essential things to create a successful YouTube channel to grow your real estate business here in 2025 on today's podcast. But real quick, before we jump into this, if you would like to jump on a 100% free, 100% zero strings attached Zoom strategy coaching call with me personally. This is going to be you and I, fully confidential, fully private. We're going to be chunking down and breaking down where your business is at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals and visions are for your real estate business, what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. Then based on all that information, then I'm going to map out for you, based on my experience of being in the industry 20 years, becoming one of the top realtors and team leaders with selling well over 7,000 homes, and also coaching and mentoring well over 5,000 realtors, team leaders, and broker owners. I'm going to walk through, based on my experience, here's exactly what I recommend that you do. Almost like if we were to change shoes, if I were in your shoes, here's exactly what I would do to get from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, efficient, profitable manner possible. And what I promise you is by the end of this free Zoom strategy coaching call with you and I, you're going to have 100% full clarity on exactly what you must do to get from where you're at to where you're going to go, or where you want to go. We're going to remove all of that guesswork, all that confusion. You're going to have 1,000% full focus. You're going to be like a horse with the blinders on. Well, you know exactly every day, every week, what to focus on. And if you execute, the only thing I can't do for you is execute. I can make sure you know exactly what to do. It's up to you to go out there and execute on it, right? So that is the purpose of this call. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call, or wherever you're watching or listening to this. If you scroll down to, the description or the show notes or wherever the hell these different platforms call, the top link will be a link to go out there and schedule that. Okay, now let's jump into how to create a successful real estate agent YouTube channel here in 2025. So I got 8 things I want to cover with you, but there's 2 things before the 8 things that I want to break down with you. And the 2 things are essential. The 8 things are going to be more tactical things that you got to be doing within your YouTube and with channel and the types of content that you're creating and whatnot. The first 2 things, though, is just, okay, first off, why YouTube? Like, why should you consider YouTube? And I'm not saying that you have to do YouTube. It's a blessing that we're in an industry of there's thousands of ways, 1,000+ ways to go out there and create big success. All of these things work. So I'm not saying that you got to do this, but if you're watching this, you probably have some interest in it, right? So the reason why it's so powerful is twofold. Number one, I guess there's 3 reasons. Number one, it is probably the hottest lead source of any other platform I've ever seen in my 20 years of doing this. Like it is as hot as past client repeat referral business inside. Conversions are insane. People have been, when you get a YouTube lead, these are people that have been usually binging your content for 6 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, sometimes months, sometimes years. They already know, like, and trust you. They've already connected with you. They've already made up their mind that they want to utilize you, if they're making a move. So when that lead comes in, like it is the best quality. Like anytime I get a YouTube lead, I'm just like, hell yes. Yeah, right. Amazing conversations. They're coming to me. I'm not chasing them. Again, it's just like if all your business was just past client repeat referral business, it's that type of quality. Number 2, they're coming to us. We're not having to chase them. So it's also very scalable. YouTube content, if you do this right, can be evergreen. So then it gets to a point where you got leads always coming in. It just gets better and better and better and more and more and more. Reason number 3 why I love this source is because there's build-up time. This is not it's free, but it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of focus, a lot of energy, a lot of consistency, to at least get it off the ground. Then it starts getting a little bit easier, a little bit better. But because of that, the vast majority of this industry will never touch it. They'll never go, you build a moat around yourself because of the amount of energy, effort, and attention that it takes. It's really like you just don't have a lot of competition. You might get some competition, but and it might look like you got more competition than you do because people will, the average YouTuber will go out there and create a YouTube channel, have it for 3 months, put out, 8 videos, and then screw this is too hard. And so the perception of competition can be much more than it is, right? There's very little competition over time of people creating consistent content. Okay, so then that leads me into the number 2 part that I want to talk to you about. So that's why you might want to consider YouTube. And hopefully you understand that and that's enough. And YouTube just continue to grow, continue to expand. It's not going away. It's just going to continue to get more powerful, at least for time to come. Okay, so then the next thing is just making sure that you set realistic expectations. Look, if you're in a hardcore reload market, you might start seeing good, consistent leads and decent, consistent business coming in within, 6 to 12 months. So if you're in a market like mine, Phoenix, Arizona, or you're in, Tampa, Florida, or, bigger reload markets, if you're not in a big reload market, okay, it's probably going to be closer to 12 months before you start seeing any element of consistent business coming in. Look, YouTube, you get a lot of reloads, and reloads are, they're thinking, hey, should I move to Phoenix or should I move to Tucson? Or should I move to, I'm thinking about Phoenix, Arizona, but at the same time, I'm thinking about Austin, Texas, and maybe Tampa, Florida. So they're looking at, maybe they're looking to come in from, Seattle, Washington, or San Francisco Bay Area, and they're looking at these 3. So they're doing their due diligence, right? So a lot of times when these leads come in, they're far down the funnel. There's a lot of nurture that comes with them. But again, they're amazing hot leads. So it just takes a little bit of time to build up. Now, some look at that as a curse. I look at it as a blessing. Like I said, do the things that are hard to do, at least to kick off and out of the gate, are the blessing, because then we're going to have the least amount of competition with them, right? If it was easy and everybody would crush it, murder it with it, then everybody would do it and then it wouldn't be easy. Right? So just want to make sure that you have realistic expectations, because what I don't want to see you do is go out there, put the time, energy, and effort, only create content for 90 days, be like, oh, nope, I tried it for 3 months, it doesn't work. Like what I want you to have this mindset, okay, I'm going to commit to these 8 things that Josh is walking me through here on this for the next 24 months. I promise if you do that, you're going to be doing some banging business off of this thing. Okay, so then from there, now when we get into the 8 things that you need to know to go out there and create a successful YouTube channel. First thing that you got to nail down, now this would take hours and hours and hours of a training for me to go do a deep dive into all of these. So I just want to make sure I'm going to walk you through the 8 things that you need to know. So that way you need to know what to go dial in and learn for success in your own YouTube channel. Okay, so number 1 is you got to make sure that you are creating the right type of content. Big mistake that I see out there is agents will go out there and start creating content around top 8 things that you should know during a home inspection. People don't care about that. What they are looking for, what YouTube buyers and sellers, what YouTube leads are looking for is, what is it like to live in your area? They want to know the different communities. I always look at, okay, what can we see on Zillow? And then what can't we see on Zillow? And what we can't see on Zillow, that's what we need to be the bridge for of our YouTube channels. So, because if you look at when people are buying a home, when they're reloading, when they're buying a home, there's really 2 components to it. They got the life inside. So when they open up that door, they got the life inside that door. But then we got our lives outside of that door. Right now, Zillow, if you look at Zillow, Zillow shows them everything about the life inside that door. We can figure out everything about that house, right? From Zillow. And the reason why I'm using Zillow here, you might hate Zillow, whatever, but dude, just get feelings out of it. It's the juggernaut. It's where people go to look at homes, right? So that's why I pay attention to it. Not saying to go out there and do leads with them or whatever. You can like them, not like them, whatever. I just know that they're the juggernaut. That's where the vast majority of human beings are going to look at homes. So I want to see, okay, what can they what does Zillow do a good job at? What can they identify on Zillow? So okay, the life inside the home. Now, what can't they identify? Okay, everything else. The life outside of Zillow. Like, what's it like to live in that community, that neighborhood? What are the schools like? What are the neighborhoods like? What are the top things to do in the weekends? All of those different things. That's the stuff I really want to be creating, my YouTube channel around is what lifestyle is like. Top 10 things to do, pros and cons, cost of living in, what the schools are, what the communities, the master plan communities, top 5 family oriented communities in this area, like whatever it may be, whatever your ideal client, you got to know who your ideal client is and making sure that you're creating the content that matters for them and that's important to them. But they want to know all that crap that Zillow can't provide. And they don't care about, contractual stuff. Right. That's what our buyer consultation's for. Again, they want to know like what it's like. What they're looking at is, hey, should I move to Phoenix, Arizona, or should I move to Tucson? And then, then when it's in Phoenix, you got 30 some cities that make up Phoenix Metro. Well, man, should I move to Peoria or should I move to Litchfield Park? Which one of those, right? So they're gathering that intel, from afar. So you got to make sure that you're nailing the type of content. Okay, so then from there, step number 2 here is making sure you're nailing the video framework. So when I talk about the video framework, I'll walk you through what my video framework is here. Doesn't you got to follow mine, but we got to nail the right framework because you can create all the amazing content and get 0 leads from it. Right? Like we got to make sure that we are grabbing their attention. We got to make sure that we're maximizing watch time, but we got to really make sure that we're inserting the right call to actions so we can go out there and get leads, right? I see this all the time. I have people that are, whether it be on the free strategy calls or brand new coaching clients that are coming to me to help them with their YouTube channels. They're maybe getting thousands of views, but they're not getting leads, not getting clients from it. And I see it all the time where they're just great editing, it's good content. That's why they're getting thousands of views per video, but they didn't insert the right call to actions or any call to action, right? Like ask and you shall receive. You got to make sure that you're nailing it. So my video framework is very simple. I like to just have kind of simple protocols to follow. So I go with the hook / intro, right? So like what the hook is. So the hook is, what is that attention grabbing intro? Like what are they here to learn about in their video? What are they here to learn about? Like that they're going to, by the time they're done watching this video, what is it they're going to learn, right? We want to hook them. We want to grab their attention. So that when I say hook, that is just that attention grabbing intro to what this video is about. Right. Then as soon as that's done, so let's just say that's, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then I want to get into intro about you and your quick CTA. Yeah, right. So we want to, and this needs to be quick. So maybe I'm talking about, hey, today we're going to talk about the top 10 pros and cons of living here in Surprise, Arizona. Now, real quick before we dive in, my name's Joshua Smith. I'm a local real estate professional, here in the Phoenix metro area. And as much as I love making these videos, I love even more helping my real estate clients buy and sell real estate throughout the Phoenix metro area. So if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do to serve, support, and help you with your real estate needs, please feel free to call, text, email. All my information is below. Like I want to just jump into that quick call to action, make sure they know who I am, right? That how I can help them, where I can help them, and give them instructions of how to get in touch with me. So we've got, like I said, we got the hook in the title, right? The hook, that hook and what the video is going to be about. Then I've got that quick intro / call to action about me. Then I get into the meat of the video. Now in the meat of the video, that's going to be, let's just say you're doing a 14-minute video or whatever, right? Those first 2 I talked about, probably 30 seconds of it. Now we're getting into the meat, the absolute, the main portion of the content of the video. Now, inside that meat, I'm going to also be inserting call to actions, but the other call to actions I'm inserting are going to be for engagement, asking their input, asking, maybe you're doing a property tour and you're showing off this kitchen and maybe it's got a unique, different, but kind of cool backsplash. Asking their thoughts, hey, I mean, I think this is pretty cool. Some might like it, some may not like it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think this is cool, or would you prefer something different? Right? Getting like what you want, if you look at every platform out there, this is not just YouTube, but all platforms out there right now, they're rewarding time on platform and engagement. Those are the 2 things that they want. So the more that we can get them watching your videos, right? YouTube's going to reward you for watch time and engagement. So I want them commenting. I want them, and then when you can offer other types of lead magnets, like during the meat of the content, like maybe you're talking about this area and then you have a relocation guide for that specific area, comment below for this relocation guide. So you get them to comment. Yeah, right. Then from there, you drop a link in and you can automate this through mini chat, or you can do it manual. We can drop a link in where then it takes them to a landing page where they have to opt in to go get that thing. They become a lead, so during the meat of the content, I'm also going to have and sprinkle in it different call to actions. And then I'm going to have the ending CTA. The ending CTA is just, hey, hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Joshua Smith. I'm a local real estate professional here in the Phoenix metro area. And if you or anybody has any real estate needs, anything I can do to serve, support, and help, whether you're looking to buy or sell or invest, or you just have a question about real estate, hey, look, I'm here to serve, support, and help in any way I possibly can. My name, number, emails below. Feel free to call, text, email anytime. Happy to I'm not just here to be a realtor, here to be a resource any way I can, right? Like we're just going to button that up with just that reminder and having those CTAs in there. Okay, so now then from there, the next step is you got to nail the title. Now, it makes it easier today than ever before because we have things like TubeBuddy, vidIQ, ChatGPT, there's so many different platforms out there that can help you come up with compelling, attention-grabbing titles. But your title matters, right? Like we want to make sure that you've got a very effective title, because what's going to get people, and just look at your own behavior, like follow your own behavior when you're on YouTube or even when you're on Netflix. Like how important is the thumbnail and the title to you? Okay, well, it's probably pretty damn important. They say that at least from YouTube's data, those are the two most important things, the thumbnail and the title, to getting people to click on that video, right? So you got to make sure that you are nailing the title. Then the next step is nailing a thumbnail. Those should kind of two go hand in hand. Now the thumbnail, it should, like, let's just say you got 3 to 5 words on your thumbnail. The 3 to 5 words on your thumbnail should be about what your video is about, but should be different from your title, right? We don't want to have it being exact. We don't have it being the same, right? We want to differentiate those, right? But then that way they're popping, they're grabbing those, grabbing that attention. They make a world of difference. Okay, now let's log into the next step here. And I didn't number these, so now I'm starting to lose count here on these numbers. I know I said I had 8 things I want to cover with you guys here, but now I want to talk to you about consistency. So far we've talked about type of content, video framework, and call to actions, title, thumbnail. So cover 4 of the 8. Now we're talking about consistency. So consistency matters. And one of the reasons why consistency matters is people want to just be able to trust your content, that they can trust you as a content creator, but especially with YouTube, right? So look, if you think about this, like YouTube is not going to kick in their recommends, their suggests for you. So if you think about one of the powers of YouTube is YouTube's got like an assistant that is just boosting your content for you 24/7. But they need to know that you are a consistent content creation, reliable partner before they're going to put that to work for you. So what I recommend is, okay, same time, same day, every single week, and just being consistent as hell with that. Now, at a minimum, you need to start off with, you need to be creating 1 video a week. Now, 2 is optimal. 2 isn't like twice as good as 1. It's like 4 times. It's like 3 or 4 times as good as 1. So 2 is really that window that we want to get to. So let's just say you got like a Monday and a Thursday release schedule. Now, before you get to 2 though, because 2 might be, especially in the beginning, when you're learning to edit, you're learning all this stuff, like 2 a week is a lot. So if I have a brand new coaching client that's never done YouTube, my recommendation to them is let's start with 1. Let's get the process down, get this going. Once that becomes easy, you've got this down, then let's kick it up to 2. Just like when I was a personal trainer, if I had something that never worked out before, I wouldn't start them off in the gym 5 or 6 days a week. I'd be like, hey, let's start with, 2 days a week, 3 days a week max. Let's ease our way into this a little bit so we don't just kill you out of the gate, right? But we want to be extremely consistent with that. And you want to build up to the point where you're releasing, again, 1 is at the absolute minimum. 1 is good, but 2 is exceptional, right? And then you can get beyond 2 if you want to go to, but I know a few coaching clients of mine that do 3 that, just murder it, but they've got a team, and these are people that are doing $200,000 a month just from their YouTube channel, and they've got the infrastructure to do that. So as an individual agent, if you're cranking out 2 a month, that will get you to the point where now you can start getting help. You can hire out some editors, and you can get some teammates, get some leverage for that over time. All right, so that's consistency. The next step here, step number 6, is making sure that you're tracking your analytics. Right. So of course we want to be looking at view count. Now we don't want to, vanity metrics isn't everything. Just because you get a lot of views doesn't mean that you're getting, that video actually produced, right? Like you might get a lot of views, but you may not get any leads. So we want to look at, okay, well, how many views are you getting? What was your average retention time of that video? Right? We want to do everything we can to optimize retention time for those videos, get as many people watching, like at least a 50% view rate on your video. If you start seeing before that, okay, like your content's off, you're dropping people, you got to figure out a way to make it more engaging. How many likes, how many comments, then obviously, of course, how many leads that we're getting, but making sure you're paying attention to that data and those analytics and making adjustments based off of those things. Like if you notice that, hey man, this video over here just had an extremely high click-through rate, maybe you got a 13% click-through rate and typically you're having a 5%. Okay, well, let's break that down. Click-through rate, what's going to impact that is title and thumbnail. Yeah, right? So, okay, let's break that down and see what we did differently with those. And now let me just start split testing concepts and ideas from those, going for more content going forward to see if I can get a higher click-through rate on the others, as an example. So making sure that you're tracking that. Okay, so then from there, these last two are kind of post-creation of content. My recommendation is to make sure that you have kind of a daily schedule where you're getting in and checking your comments daily. And again, like I said, YouTube really enhances or promotes engagement. The more engagement, the more comments that you can have on your channel, the better. So going in there, anybody that's commenting, liking, hearting, replying, if they, said something, I don't know, if you're doing a property tour and they're like, oh, I love that property. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, thanks, appreciate your comment. Yeah, it's a beautiful property. Glad you liked it. That's better than nothing, but then, okay, this is a chance to get more engagement. So, hey, thank you so much for watching, the video. I agree. Home's amazing. Just out of curiosity, what was your favorite part of the home? What'd you like most about it? Keep that conversation going. Yeah, right. When I get hate comments, I get all the time of like, oh, dude, all the freaking lines in your forehead, go get some Botox. Like, I'm gonna get Botox, dude. Come on now, son. Right. But you get some of that bullshit. You get some people that hate on you, and usually these people probably didn't watch the whole video. They just, people out there got to talk shit, right? Not most people, but there's a percentage of people that do. So even though from there, it's like, okay, like I'm still gonna like it, comment it, right? I may not be like kissing their ass. I'll still, but I'm not going to go and get in a fight. I'm going to be a professional, so if somebody says, again, this is when I get more on my short form content than I do on my long form videos. For whatever reason, like on Reels, TikToks, I get a lot of comments about the damn lines in my forehead. And I get adult males telling me I should get Botox. I'm like, what adult male is going to go out there and get Botox, right? Like I know it happens, but to me, it just, I'm like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Right. Now I could go in there and start a fight, but again, that's not going to do any good. I'm not going to waste my time, hurt people. I've never had anybody above me or same level or above me that's taken time to talk shit out of it. So I know the type of headspace that these people are in, but again, this can go out there and increase my overall, lift of the channel. So I might just, like it and comment back. Hey, I appreciate you watching, appreciate the feedback. No Botox for this guy. Keep up the amazing work. Or like I might even put a little kind of smart assy comment in there of, but without getting into a fight. Right. So anyway, though, making sure that you're setting off that time to comment in that engage and comment on that daily, right? Just like check an email daily. Okay, so then the last component here. Now, this is so damn crucial. Make sure that you have your lead conversion system in place. When these leads come in, you got to jump on them. So I was just having a conversation with one of my top YouTube creators, and she's sitting there, hey, those leads come in, I'm on them instantaneously, even if they're a year out. She goes, I'm on them immediately, scheduling even though most of them are her market or out of state. So she's like, yeah, I'm on the phone immediately. Whether they DM me, whatever, I'm getting in touch with them instantaneously, immediately. I'm jumping on those leads, speed to lead. Then I'm immediately setting up a buyer consultation, which most of them are Zoom. Hopefully that day, worst case the next day, because time kills deals, right? So, and then even if they're a year out, she's like, hey, I do a full buyer consultation and get a buyer broker on the side. So making sure that you have your lead conversion system of how you're jumping on that lead, but what that long-term nurture is, just like all things, we understand and we know that the fortune is in the follow-up. So that you understand that. Okay, so now let me just recap these really fast. So we got type of content, we got video framework and call to actions, We got your title, we got your thumbnail, we got consistency of content, tracking your analytics, comment, engage daily, and then lead conversion system in place. And if you nail these 8 things and you have the right expectations and you understand why YouTube's so powerful, and you do these right. Now, YouTube's a little bit of an art and science, but I promise you do these things right, 2 years from now, you'll be thanking God that you did. It's an amazing platform, amazing lead source to go off of. All right, so real quick as we wrap this up, if you would like to schedule that 100% free Zoom coaching call with me personally, strategy coaching call, where you and I showing up on this Zoom call, breaking down where your business is at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals and visions are for your real estate business, what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are, then I can map out my recommended best strategy plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, to eliminate all that guesswork, to eliminate all that confusion, make sure you know exactly what you need to do every day, every week, every month to hit your goals. That's something you want to take advantage of. Again, it's 100% free, 0 strings attached. Go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. All right, guys, hopefully this was helpful. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.